Hello, everyone, and welcome to Make Your Own Victory, the GDQ Hotfix show where we attempt to capture 100% of the joy of speedrunning in 0% of the completed video games. My name is Quacksilver, and I hope everyone is cozy this lovely holiday season. We have some Christmas time Pokemon for you all today here on Make Your Own Victory. It's going to be a wonderful journey in which I am going to attempt to learn my alphabet headed into the new year. We'll be kicking things off with Pokemon X, and then following it up with Pokemon Legends ZA Rank F. That's legally the order the letters go in, and you can't prove otherwise. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not talk about some of the other incredible things that are happening on the GDQ Twitch channel this holiday season, like, for instance, Black in a Flash's Speeding Through the Holidays, which is coming up this upcoming weekend, December 27th and 28th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Black in a Flash also, of course, putting on Back to Black again early next year, the first weekend in February. That's the 5th through the 8th, 2026, benefiting Race Forward. You can use !BAF in the Twitch chat to learn more. Pokemon is, of course, no stranger. Make Your Own Victory is no stranger to Pokemon, and vice versa. They have some of the largest breadth and depth of category extensions of basically any franchise. It is always a treat to not roll the credits in these games. And so to kick off our show today, I'd love to welcome, representing the Pokemon CatX Expo, the category extensions brain trust in the Pokemon community, here to run Pokemon X Fireworks Show. Please welcome Headbob.
Thank you very much, Quack. Hello, my name is Headbob, and I'm the current world record holder in this game and a couple other 3DS games. And I would love to teach you all about the alphabet today, because I know you all just don't know how it works, and you would love to know. So I guess without further ado, we should just get started, you know? So we'll give us a 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. All right, so you're probably wondering, hey, what is a fireworks show? I've seen fireworks before in real life. I didn't know that existed in Pokemon. Well, you'll be happy to hear it actually does, and it is pretty early into the game, so we actually don't have to play too close to the credits, not even have to, you know, risk seeing the credits even closely. But so yeah, we're just gonna be playing for a nice little 30-ish minute time period. Just kind of get a sense for the game, and then we will have a nice little fireworks show to end. So basically all this is just like a subset of the any percent run. There is going to be some route changes from the any percent route, which is cool. We get to see a little bit of diversity from what you might have already seen if you had watched any of the GDQ runs of XY any percent. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty fun run. Well, it's not it's a pretty fun run as someone who like has mostly been brain rotted onto XY any percent. So
I was gonna say, you are like the definitive XY runner, the definitive maybe even DS Pokemon runner, DS era Pokemon runner. How did Fireworks Show? How was it born?
So it actually wasn't my idea, which is crazy. But so Cat Expo, which is the thing that we've been kind of working on for the last year or two, it had been pretty much like only Switch games for a good while. And so a couple months ago, we started branching out into other types of Pokemon games. Like we submitted Rumble Blast, we submitted some 3DS categories and some early gen ones as well. And this was the first one that wasn't Switch that was actually picked. So it was submitted by a lovely runner by the name of Gavin. And yeah, I played it. It's a lot of fun. Part of the whole fun of these Cat Expo category extensions is like routing it yourself. And so it was kind of cool to like look at the any percent route and then think of some of the things that you could maybe do differently in like a shortened category like this. So it was kind of cool to just think about it in a different way. But yeah, in the mid game, we're in the early game, we're kind of just learning the ropes. We're gonna get our first Pokemon here soon, which is actually going to be our main, which is a thing that you don't really see anywhere else in this game. The starters are they're not even that bad, but with the amount of Pokemon that are available to you in XY, you typically will switch off into something a little bit better pretty early on. But this is one of the only categories in XY where we will just keep our starter, which is kind of cool. And a Chespin of all Pokemon does not get a ton of love, and we will be giving it love today.
Hey, this is in defense of the grass starters. Except for Chikorita, he knows what he did. Can we do that? Can we bring that discourse back around?
I will abstain on my feelings on Chikorita, but I do love me some Chespin. I think Chespin kind of goes through the ringer a little bit, and I just want to give it some love from time to time. So yeah, we're gonna fight. There are not actually that many fights in this category. There's probably about, I don't know, like 6 or 7 fights total, and Chespin pretty much handles all of them. So there's nothing too scary with Chespin itself. One of its moves can be a little bit volatile, and we'll get to that when we get there. But for now, we're just kind of chilling. It seems I've failed to determine what time is nighttime in this game. I set it to 6 p.m. and apparently it's not nighttime.
So it'll be a lovely early evening fireworks.
Yeah. As you do, you watch fireworks in the afternoon, as you do.
Famously.
So yeah, XY, I mean, I think XY is one of my favorite games to run. And I kind of like that it's been getting a lot of spotlight lately as a result of the release of Legend ZA, which we'll see soon. But it was kind of really cool to like play through ZA and see some of the cool things about XY kind of represented in the game, because I really like this game. So it's kind of fun to, revisit it after playing ZA for the first time.
Yeah, have you completed ZA?
I have completed ZA, and I really love the storyline, and I think it connects really well to XY. So I think they did a good job.
Because I have seen people. Obviously, we will not be completing ZA tonight on the show.
Yes, unfortunately,
that's not how this works. But I have seen people like popping off for some of the new megas and that sort of thing. And yeah, I think a lot of the like Pokemon designs that are new to ZA are really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you haven't played either XY or ZA, I recommend you give it a try. I think the lore of this game is pretty cool. I think people were dogging on it a little bit before ZA, but I think with ZA everything gets a whole lot of closure and everything's a lot cooler. So we're gonna take I guess not yet, but pretty soon we're gonna get our first deviation from the any percent route after this little catching tutorial with our good buddy Calum. In the 80% route, you would catch a Bunnelby on this route. It's a 20% encounter, and it is guaranteed to get in the Pokeball. And you do that so that you can trade it for a Farfetch'd in the next town. And Farfetch'd is really good for the early game. Starts at a really high level, gets boosted experience, gets super powerful stab moves. But we just don't play enough to need it, so we're actually going to be ditching Farfetch'd for this category. Just us and Chespin against the world.
As it should be.
So true. Also, side note, 50 Pokeballs is way too many Pokeballs.
I don't know, at a certain point, like, maybe Caleb's just doing a catch-em-all speedrun.
Hey, and we would, that's a make your own victory, Just do it.
Doing a
Do whatever you
very
want.
specific catch-em-all speedrun.
The beauty of make your own victory is you kind of can just do whatever you want. And
It's true. We have literally one rule here.
I could stop right now if I wanted to, and that would be cool.
Please don't.
But I could.
But you could. It's true.
Yeah, we got one fight here. There is one fight in the forest. And then we get to our first and only gym that Chespin will do his best against. Yeah, so Chespin is actually picked. It's picked for the 90% route, but we don't actually use it for very long. But it is the best for the early game because it gets access to 45 power Vine Whip, which is much stronger than any of the other moves on the Pokemon. And also it gives some better fights for the rest of the 90% route, but we're not playing that, so who cares?
Do you not have to deal with any other like rival or similarly keyed off your starter fights in this category?
Well, so there was the one against Shauna at the very beginning, and then the next one against a rival is before the third gym. So that would be around an hour from now.
Okay, wow, yeah.
So yeah. There are some fights that you do with one of your rivals, so how much they help you depends on which starter you pick. That's not as significant. It's not, we don't actually encounter that in the run either, funnily enough. Yeah, I was actually just talking about how good the music is in this game. One of the best things about it.
I think, you know, a lot of, I was going to say contemporary Pokemon stuff. I hate to be the bearer of bad news this holiday season. I don't think XY counts as contemporary anymore. But
to me, it
a lot
is.
of 3DS and forward Pokemon tunes. Like, obviously, there's a lot of momentum for some of like the classics TM, but like, I really loved 3DS era Pokemon tunes. I think they've been killing it with the Switch stuff. I'll be gushing about the ZA soundtrack later tonight, but like also Scarlet Violet's OST popped off.
Yeah, one thing about Pokemon is they will not miss on a soundtrack. They love making good music. Yeah, in my mind, even though XY is now 12 years old.
Don't say these things.
I know, it's so sad. But I remember going out there for the first time and getting it. It was one of the first games I ever got. So I picked up a potion there. I'm going to pick up a couple more items in the next town. All items that would not be picked up in the 90% route. It's more for... Chespin needs a little bit of extra help to get through these fights safely, so just kind of get some helping items. Oh, that's unfortunate.
And that's still like faster on average than going and figuring out Farfetch.
That's
nice.
It actually is very close. The thing about Farfetch is, so the trade takes a really long time, but Chespin's gameplay is incredibly volatile, and we will soon see why. And Farfetch is pretty consistent, so really for a marathon run I should not be using Chespin, but Chespin's more fun anyway, so, and we need to give some love to Chespin.
Exactly.
So getting the super potion and this antidote, because there's a fight that if you get poisoned in the gym, you're kind of out of luck, so we don't want that here. Yeah, so if you haven't figured it out yet, Chessman's a grass type. Viola's a bug type. That doesn't work. But we got Rollout at level 8, which is a extremely powerful rock type move, which is super effective against bugs. The one catch is that it is 90% accurate, and if you miss Rollout, you lose the power you build up from getting rollouts successfully in a row. So there's a very strong possibility that we could lose a lot of time in this gym by just missing too many rollouts, but that won't happen.
Of course not. If done like optimally, how many rollouts do you hit in a row?
So there's 2 fights in the gym. So you need to hit 3 rollouts on each of the fights if you don't miss. And then the next fight, Sycamore, is actually a fight you can lose. But if you do win it, you can win it. It's around 5 or 6 rollouts. And that's it. But that's a lot of rollouts to
yeah.
to
I mean,
hit.
hitting
And then
6 rollouts is just it's a 50-50. And I don't
That's
even
right.
mean that in the sense that like either you hit it or you don't. I mean, it's actually about 50% odds to get all 6.
my favorite meme. Every outcome is 50%.
Except for Focus Blast, which has 0% accuracy.
So true. Yeah, this Kakuna has Poison Sting. It can also use Harden, which would be ideal, because we kill anyway. And also, don't miss like you just did.
Instantly denied.
And we're poisoned. Not great.
But we love and support Chespin in this house, Chad.
Okay. All set. Not even close. Yeah. Yeah, so literally, we're making use of both of the 2 items that I just picked up. So, case in point. Yeah, if we were grinding down this category, this gym would be something that you don't pick up any extra items and you just roll out and hope you live, and if you don't, then you just reset. But thankfully or unfortunately, we get to not have to worry about that.
I don't know what you've even if you haven't participated in every single one of them. I know you've been around CatX Expo for a little while.
Yes.
What's the most grinding that has been done for a Pokemon category extension that you've seen?
If I did care about this category enough, it would be this one for sure. This one is brutal. I got a pretty decent time in this category and just kind of left it as is. But this one has the biggest potential for sure for grinding. Most of them are like pretty unserious, just kind of like, mindless fun. This one would be one where like you kind of have to take it seriously if you wanted to get like a super crazy time. What else is there? Yeah, I don't know. No one really like takes them like too seriously. Just kind of having fun.
I mean, hey, it's a good way to keep speedrunning Pokemon.
Exactly. Actually, the current one, we had our first ZA category selected for this month. It's getting all of the colorful screws in Pokemon Legends ZA, which actually doesn't take as long as you might think. You only need to get the Roto Glide feature, and you can get every colorful screw in the game. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, in my mind, that takes like 100 years, but I can see why that might be actually a pretty alright speedrun.
Yeah, we're also in the process. So there's also a bunch of other, like I said, there's a bunch of other non-Switch categories that are currently in the pool waiting to be selected. And so there's one where I think I submitted like Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Get the Dex entry for Gallade, which is funny because that requires you to do super training. So if that ever gets picked, I would be very excited to do that. And then we're waiting on some other generations of games to get their time to shine as well. So definitely broadening our scopes as of lately.
I love those hyper-specific category extensions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just a bunch of people just like sitting around just thinking like, hey, what would be funny to do?
That's speedrunning in its purest form.
Exactly. If you're not having fun, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh, it's Lumio City from that other game.
I can't believe Pokemon Legends ZA invented Lumio City and they brought it back for Pokemon XY. So we just got the roller skates, by the way, which those are cool. We do some funny tricks with them if I can actually do it right. Guess not. So this is where we will get Rock Splash from Mabel and sorry, never mind, wrong game.
Wait a second.
Yeah, we're here for Sycamore, which is the current professor, and we're gonna battle him and his 3 lovely friends from the Kanto region.
God, I forgot how like dramatic the cutscenes are in this game.
I know. Now they did their thing.
Pushing on Sycamore, make him look real intense. I also do love seeing chat popping off for Lumios.
Lumio City. Pokemon XY, Pokemon Legends ZA, handshake emoji, getting lost in Lumio City. So yeah, we're pretty likely to die here, and that's perfectly fine. Charmander kind of will pack a punch if we give it some chances, which we definitely will. This is one of the couple losable fights in the game, where it allows you to lose and still progress.
Rip.
Oh no, we died.
I assume it's like, does Bulbasaur not have anything that can kill you quickly? So, or are you like looking for the extra XP?
Yeah, no, it's just tackle is the best thing that it has, so it's just better to just keep going, and if you die, you die. If you don't, you don't, and then yeah. So we did end up getting in my PB. Actually, I do actually win the fight. I just like don't get hit by anything and just hit all my rollouts. But yeah, it really just does not matter. And the 90% route, you have to care a little bit because your experience changes quite a bit, and then you lose a lot of money for not beating Sycamore. But none of that matters here. Oh yes, of course I picked Bulbasaur. That wasn't even a question. Everyone loves Bulbasaur here.
It is the day of the grass starters. And surely this will remain the case. Oh hey, it's that guy from those video games.
Pokemon ZA's own L.
Another letter. Slowly but surely, I can learn to read.
We got L, we got AZ, we got X, we got F, we got ZA. Can we get a Bulbasaur impression? Well, you can get what might sound vaguely like a Bulbasaur impression. Bulbasaur.
10 out of 10, no notes.
So here is where we would get the TM for Sword Stance in the 90% route. There are also some other TMs as well. But we don't want them, so we will leave. And we deposited our Bulbasaur there because there is a mandatory double battle otherwise on the next route.
And seeing immediately multiple different Bulbasaur emotes in the chat is giving me life.
I'm so sorry to all Bulbasaurs out there. I mean well. I am your friend. Yeah. If I'm being honest, Bulbasaur is not even my favorite, but I feel that I need to stick up for grass starters because they get disrespected all the time, and I don't hate Bulbasaur, and so I will show some love.
I respect this. What's your favorite generation of starters on the whole?
Favorite generation of starters?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe it's for the base starters. Maybe it's Gen 7.
Good answer.
I think they're all really, really cool.
Not just as a hopeless Rowlet enjoyer, but
although Gen 4 is a close second, but everyone knows that.
Yeah, no, Gen 4 pop off. 347. That's the good gens. No bias based on roughly when I was a child playing Pokemon.
Yes, of course,
when I got back into it.
Absolutely zero correlation. Yeah, this is our last fight's coming up here. We are fighting against our rival Tierna, who likes to dance. You may know him from Lita fame in Pokemon Legends EA. Yeah, none of these fights, all the fights that we've done so far, Chespin does not lose any time consistently to Farfetch if the fights go well, provided you hit all your rollouts and stuff. So theoretically, Chespin could just be as fast as Farfetch for all of these fights. And that's why we have chosen to use it.
And roughly how long does it take to get Farfetch? You said the trade takes a while.
So the catch, so assuming you were to encounter and catch a Bunnelby first try, that alone is 30, 40 seconds, and then the trade is another 30-ish. So it's around a minute and change. And then, yeah, it manages to make that back over the course of the 50 minutes that we use it in an 80% route. It is just really nice to, later on in some of the later sections, it's nice to have a Mon that has a bit higher speed than Chespin's speed so that it can run away from encounters. And Farfetch will always have a perfect speed stat. Yeah, so here in this town, in the 90% route, you actually would do a lot of things, and we're gonna skip all of that. So you would enter here, you'd go to the Pokemon Center, you'd buy a bunch of items, like repels and such, potions, status healing items. You'd pick up a star piece so that you can sell to buy those items. You'd pick up a berry juice. And before a recent route change, you'd also go into a house and pick up some sweethearts. So we just saved a very large amount of time by not doing any of that.
And yeah, chat popping off about, I how tight your movement is in this game, and I'm inclined to agree because I have vague recollection of attempting to get around on roller skates, and it sure didn't look like that.
Yeah. Skates is definitely one of the biggest learning curves of this game. The movement's not really intuitive. And so if you're trying for the first time, especially in like a casual playthrough setting, it can definitely take some time to get used to. But it has the power to move like super quickly if you know what you're doing. So it feels very good to move the skates. Yeah, we're almost at, I hope chat is ready for their mid-afternoon fireworks. I can't believe they don't consider 6:45 p.m. nighttime. It gets dark at 5 p.m. where I am.
I was going to say, daylight savings doesn't exist in Kalos.
You get to do a nice little puzzle here.
Oh god, I remember the Furfrou maze.
Yes, Furfrou gets a little lost. We like Furfrou, so gotta go find it. Also, if I was however old this protagonist is, it'd probably be pretty fun to just run around a hedge maze. So
that is true. I think we should bring back hedge mazes as a pastime. Did they go anywhere? I don't know. But hey, chat, hear me out.
And then there's a for the any percent route, there's a rare candy that comes up here, which is actually quite critical for the 80% route, and it's like super easy to get. So we're not getting that here obviously because we're about to finish, but figured I should note that, very crucial to the current. I literally almost went to get it at a muscle memory. That's funny.
That's always the risk you run with the partial categories.
This palace is kind of cool. All right, and now we're just gonna sit tight for this fireworks show, and we're gonna end time on the fade to black after the fireworks show.
Okay, I was just saying, because what's your PB in this category?
I got a 31:15, so this will be like a 31, like 30 something, 40 something maybe.
I was gonna say, very, very close.
Not too bad. If we didn't miss that rollout. Yeah. If we didn't miss that rollout and get poisoned, we would have maybe had it. Just us and Shauna just enjoying these lovely little fireworks in the middle of the daylight.
And the bright, centered on the screen sun at 6:45 p.m. Happy winter solstice, gamers.
And that is time.
She's speechless.
She has nothing to say. I wouldn't either. Yeah. I do have something to say though. And that's thank you all for watching. And Cat Expo. It's so cool. If you have any interest in running anything related to Pokemon, Cat Expo is a great way to get into it. Yeah, I think you can find it through the Switch Discord. And we pull a different Pokemon category every month, and it's kind of it's always something like super fun, and everyone just kind of routes it and has a good time. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, and so and then all the people that have to do with Cat Expo. There's too many to name, but everyone's so great in there, and so if you join, you'll have a great time. And this is just the beginning. Yeah, this is actually one of the shorter, arguably less fun categories.
This is just to get you in the door.
Yeah, this is just the stepping stone, exactly.
But before you leave stage, ahead, Bob, if you want to let the people know where you're at on the internet and what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure. So I stream sometimes at headbob_, like Pokemon, mostly late generation stuff, but sometimes some Game Boy games and stuff cool too. You can also find me on YouTube at headbob, Twitter at headbobhunts. I do Pokemon. Yeah. So if you enjoyed, feel free. I'd love to talk more about this stuff. I love Pokemon so much, and so. And also related to the game that's coming up next, Pokemon Legends ZA Rank F, that will also be shown at AGDQ 2026 by my good friend and roommate Zypodic, and I'll be on the couch for that run. So, if you like the next run, you will also love it at AGDQ, and I would love for you to check it out.
Yeah, that's gonna be real exciting. Chat, give it up one more time for Headbob. We are going to take a quick break, and we are going to also travel through time to a different loop. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Make Your Own Victory, the GDQ Hotfix show where we attempt to capture 100% of the joy of speedrunning in 0% of the completed video games. We are midway through our cozy Pokemon episode for the holidays, and as I continue to learn to read, I'm going to take the cue from our fantastic last runner, Headbob, since, as he mentioned, our upcoming run of Pokemon Legends ZA is also going to be featured at AGDQ 2026, which, if you have been following the calendar, that's in like 2 weeks, y'all. I'm not ready, but if you're interested, registration is still open for AGDQ 2026. That's going to be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 4th through the 10th. You can visit gdq.gg for more info about the event as well as registration. I think we've done it. We've traveled through time enough. And here to show a slightly different side of both Lumio's City and the alphabet, here running Pokemon Legends ZA Rank F, please welcome to the stage Professor Birch.
Hi, hello. I am Professor Birch, and this is going to be... We are now 5 years in the future from the events of the previous run. So this is Pokemon Legends ZA Rank F. I can get a little bit more into it once we actually get started because there is quite a bit of downtime in the beginning of this run. But what this essentially is a kind of Act 1 speedrun of Legends ZA. Because NA% currently kind of sits at around just 6 hours and some change. Our previous runner, Headbob, would have a little bit more knowledge of that, as I just checked before it, and he sits at the top of the SRC leaderboards for the game, 90%.
Nice.
So, nice. But without further ado, time is going to start when I click ready here and we get into our first few cutscenes. So if you're ready to learn the alphabet with me and go from Z to F, let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Famously how the alphabet goes.
Famously how the alphabet goes. This is how everyone learned their ABCs, including myself. Or I guess ZYXs.
Isn't that a mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh? I'll go.
XYZ. Another game I do play. Anyway, so what we're going to do here is just do quick little menuing as soon as we have control, just to set some settings. That's going to be helpful for the rest of the game, like text speed and camera sensitivity. That's save progress. That's the wrong button. We're going to text speed just fast, and then camera to 5. Camera sensitivity 5. I'm just going to walk around. we're not going to jump the turnstiles because we've already paid for our fare on the train. So, title card. Quack, what do you know about ZA so far?
I have seen a little bit of various rank F showcases that have happened across the internet for a couple of events. And I have followed the new designs and stuff, but I'm not super intimately familiar with the plot of the game. Oh, and I've listened to the whole soundtrack because the whole soundtrack is exquisite.
Banger after banger after banger.
But the finer details of the plot, I'm glad to have you here.
Fair enough. So essentially, we are new to Lumio City. Quite literally, as we just saw us getting off the train. And we're going to run into our new friend, Urbane, almost immediately. Urbane is the leader of a group called Team MZ, stationed out of Hotel Z. And what he's currently doing here is looking for someone to essentially recruit to be in a commercial for Hotel Z. And that just happens to be us because we look the most like a tourist. So we're going to just be mashing through some dialogue. Not mashing necessarily, but turboing because that is allowed on the leaderboards of this game, which is really great. It's 2025. It's almost 2026. Yeah. Take care of your hands.
We take care of our hands in the new year, gamers.
Skipping one more cutscene. Luckily in this game, we can skip some of the more cinematic cutscenes, yet some of these cutscenes that are just kind of text boxes like a typical Pokemon game, we of course cannot, which is why Turbo comes in clutch. Anyway, that Pancham that we do not know just stole our bag, which leads us into our first main story mission of the game. In typical fashion, as we'll have to chase down that Pancham with what's clearly the 3 starter choices of the game in Tepig, Totodile, and Chikorita. Chat, what's your favorite starter?
Ever or of these 3?
Let's say of these 3.
Ooh. I'm worried I'm gonna defer to chat because I'm worried I'm about to get blown up here because I don't remember what starter Varun picks.
All right, we're just gonna cut some corners there as we don't have our main form of movement yet. I'm seeing Totodile.
I think, of these 3, I think I'm also Team Totodile.
I am also Team Totodile, but I think Tepig has grown a lot on me over the years. But Totodile will always be my Gen 2 1 brain cell son. He's just a little guy. True. He's just a little guy, but there are 0 thoughts behind that head. Anyway, we're getting into the starter selection, and funny enough, there is an interaction based on how this whole starter selection is set up, that we can trigger a cutscene if we walk around and pick Pancham, but we can't take Pancham as our starter.
Dang.
But we are going to pick Totodile. That is
not Chikorita. Okay,
not Chikorita.
I'm done being discursive. I'm sorry to the Chikorita stands in the chat, but he knows what he did.
It's been one of those where it's over the course of XY. ZA's lifespan has run so far. The 2 main starters that have been kind of competitive, especially for the 80% route, have been both Totodile and Tepig. I think ultimately leaning on Totodile just for a few other reasons. Ultimately, in terms of utility later on in the game. But we are just going to use Totodile as a sort of main for these first couple of sections. Or this first section, more or less, because by day 2, we're going to be actually getting our real main for the run, which is the same main for any percent. It's just a lot of the routing for rank F specifically is going to be essentially the first 2 hours of any percent, just with less resource gathering than any percent. And wow, that did not. It was just faster to pick tackle there at the end. typical first battle with your starter things. It's just tackle and other normal type low damage move back and forth. But yeah, if you couldn't notice from there, the main sort of draw of Legend ZA is that we have taken Pokemon battles out of this sort of turn-based system that it has been for decades now and put a real-time spin on it. They still do kind of feel a little turn-based, but ultimately, it's enough of a difference that like I personally enjoy this battle system. And it's one of the reasons why like this is my first Pokemon speedrun.
Is it really your first one?
It's my first Pokemon speedrun.
Surely I must have known that, but also, dang.
Dang, some friend you are.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'll go. Frankly, I should have left after the Yu-Gi-Oh joke. It was all downhill from there.
You know me so well, and yet you don't all at the same time. Our friendship's going to be tested over these next 2 hours.
I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm ready for your worst Pokemon takes.
I personally got invited. Anyway, so we have now found ourselves caught within the barriers of the ZA Royale, or the battle zone of the ZA Royale tonight, and we now need to escape from it. Okay. Yeah, so once again, just like in the little opening section chasing down Bancham, we're just going to be walking around these corners very efficiently with our pathing. And of course, we get caught by another trainer.
So how soon into ZA's lifespan so far, I guess, did you pick it up as a speed game? By which I mean, I guess, like, was this always going to be a speed game for you, or
this was always going to be a speed game because this game quite literally got me to buy a Switch 2.
That'll do it, yeah.
So already that investment was kind of essentially done for me, or chosen for me. Probably did not need to leer there. Water gun, leer, tackle, water gun. Just do it. So yeah, one thing important to note, and it's also going to come up later when it comes to this real-time battle system, is that since moves are on cooldowns, we're going to have essentially a sort of optimal rotation of moves in terms of what each move's cooldowns are and what damage they do, etc., while also cycling in status moves like Leer in some cases. But also after a certain point, we're going to be so higher level than all of our opponents that we just one-shot most of the things, especially after pumping our main with a few EXP candies. But for these opening sections, it really is a lot of ranges and just making sure we can hit things correctly. Anyway, we're going to skip one more cinematic where it's really the first bit of the first biggest joke of the event, where this little Floette comes in and does Light of Ruin, because this is AZ's Floette. For those of you that played XY and know who AZ is. So this is really where a lot of the XY lore starts to get tied back into the game. Because chat, can you guess why Hotel Z is called Hotel Z?
No, hang on, I can get this. I feel like the answer is another letter.
It is another letter, but it's another letter with Z. Walking up to it is so funny. Anyway, it's AZ. You know, The guy
It's the
from
tall guy.
It's the tall guy
from
the
the
3,000 year old man from Pokemon X and Y.
I do want to spoil a little bit of deep make your own victory lore. When we were in the green room before Pokemon X, we debated briefly opening the showcase with just the line like it's been 3,000 years from the XY credit sequence. Just immediately cutting away before the credits could play, because we don't do those around here. But was decided to not be worth the technical minutia.
Yeah, understandable. Anyway, AZ, why are you running a hotel? The Lakers need you.
I do love the bow tie, though. It's very snazzy.
The bow tie is a nice touch on top of the pants that were clearly too short, or torn up, so they're like sewn together in this very patch. He has knee pads sewn into his pants. Fashion.
It's just in case he winds up in a situation. Surely this game would never put him in one.
Imagine ending up in situations in a Pokemon game. I could never. Yes, sports jokes in your Pokemon runs. I am so sorry. Anyway, we just have a few more scenes with Urbane here. And then we'll finally get to go to bed.
Truly what this has all been building up to.
Truly the actual run here. Maybe the victory we made this whole time was going to sleep.
I mean, hey, it's the holiday season. A good nap would fix me.
It would honestly fix me too. Not gonna lie. Anyway, if it wasn't clear already, we're in Lumio City. We needed that shot of the Prism Tower just to really to really drive that point home.
It's a pretty city. I like the visual design of CA.
Pokemon ZA bed percent. Yep.
Honestly, how long you said? Okay, so we were about to go to bed. Nice, good 15-minute cat X. Grinding that sounds so fun.
Oh, you mean the fact that it's just walking sim? Yeah.
One battle and walking.
Two battles. Count them two.
So true. Forgive me.
I'm just gonna walk back down, get back down to the lobby once again, and then Urbane's gonna teach us a few more things, like dodge rolling. Now,
because this is a Dark Souls game. I forgot.
Yes. Much like in Legends Arceus, we're going to have fights later on in the game. We're only going to see one of them, particularly where dodge rolling as a mechanic really plays into effect. With that, so we're going to see one Rogue Mega fight in this run, because after that fight is more or less where we get the rank F breakpoint, where the run ends. Sorry, my throat is like dry. So yeah, we're gonna do one of those where if you played Legends Arceus at all, you're familiar with the sort of, I forget the exact name of the Pokemon lords. Like I said, first Pokemon speedrun. It's been a while since I've also played Arceus.
I think lords is correct though.
It is. I just am not. If someone can correct me, please feel free to do so. Get in the comments. I don't know.
Really, you're gonna use get in the comments for if you'd like to correct me, it's okay.
You want me to use get in the comments in a more aggressive way later on?
I don't know. Are we gonna do something? Are we gonna start discourse? I'm
down
ready.
to start discourse.
I'm ready
hit
for
me.
your worst. I'm ready for your worst Pokemon takes.
Anyway, so real quick, before we even get into learning dodge rolling, dodge rolling is going to end up being the sort of main movement that we do use in the game. Because in the hierarchy of movement in this game, running is faster than walking. Dodge rolling while holding a direction is faster than running. Dodge rolling while holding no direction is faster than dodge rolling while holding a direction. And then dodge rolling while crouching and holding no direction is faster than all of those.
Good.
Jot that down. That's going to be on the test at the end of this.
I love always on movement tech like that. That reminds me of I know Tears of the Kingdom has like 75 different ways to like increase your run speed, and that sounds like a couple of them.
That's way too many ways to. You do not need that many ways to go fast. I'm very much happy with my like 3 here. Anyway, this is Lita. He was literally just in the last game, but I blinked on his name. Turnout, yeah, that's half sister actually to one of the rivals from X and Y. Yes, there is going to be a test. I'm Professor Birch. You didn't think there was going to be a test at the end of this. Anyway, this is our first official rival battle against Urbane, where we essentially now get to 2v1 the other 2 starters with just our very special boy Totodile. You're gonna see me do the same bits. Water gun.
Nice
that
crit.
Was a crit. I don't think I. No, I did need the Leer. Okay. I don't think this Totodile's normal attack is that good, which is fine. We're not going to be using Totodile this entire time. One important thing to note in terms of if you see me using both special or physical moves in this game is that it's always optimal and faster to be standing as close to your Pokemon as possible when they're using a ranged move, because your Pokemon gets into position, moves into a specific position next to you before using said move. And that's Urbane down, and we're going to start rolling around at the speed of sound.
Shoutouts to Think Fast with Sonic Adventure 2 battle tonight.
You can't see it, chat, but I do have a script next to my gameplay at the moment. You know what? Sometimes when you're doing a 2-hour category, you just gotta make yourself laugh.
No, it's true.
Oh no, there's boulders in the way. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Make your own victory?
Picturing the version of Make Your Own Victory that is legit like a children's educational program, and we just like leave gaps for everyone in chat to scream at their computer screens.
Oh, you mean that's not what the show is?
Can you see Prism Tower?
Can you see Prism Tower? Chat, do you know your type matchups? What does water beat, chat?
They said the thing. Oh, incredible.
I am nothing if not on brand. Anyway, we are getting our Pokédex finally. They said the thing. Coming soon to Hotfix, Quack's Clues.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb and suggest.
We could workshop it.
I'll have my people call your people.
So you're gonna call me. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, hey, if you'd like to appear on Quack's Clues, you can let me know. We are taking hotfix run submissions for the winter season. Exclam submit in the chat. Please submit to make your own victory, but you can say nice things about Quack's Clues and I'll read them. That's almost the same thing.
All right. We're finally hitting the point in the tutorial where we're learning how to catch Pokemon. Starting off with this Fletchling. Getting our Pokeballs. A whole 10 of them. The generosity of the later games versus like what they give you even back at like Gen 3 is astounding, honestly. What? Fletchling broke out. It's scripted. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I was thinking like to do a that's never happened before joke, but I thought that was a little too gauche.
Nah, we're good. We've got plenty of time to get a legit one.
We get plenty of time to do. This is where they teach you. Yep.
Is there a category for doing all the refights yet? I don't know how developed the Cadex scene is for this game because it's so new. Do you know?
I think I'd need a little bit more. Okay, I tried twice. Just gonna weaken. Get in the ball. There we go.
Probably said no, thank you.
That was a little. There's like one other catch that's going to be a little bit annoying later on, and hopefully that catch goes a little bit better. But that pretty much is like it in terms of annoying catches throughout the run. Okay, we do need to catch 5 Pokemon here because we do need to complete the 5 Pokemon to be able to essentially move on with the game. We're not going to get the rewards from, as Head Bob alluded to, previous run, Mabel, the Pokemon professor or Pokemon researcher of this game. That Bumblebee was not having any of it. But yeah, I think if we're talking the Rogue Mega refights, there is some work being done in that already, especially due to the DLC kind of expanding upon that. But of course, play this game. Play for yourself. Make sure I don't.
I promise. There's too many video games.
I know there's too many video games, Quack, but if I can find the time.
This is fair. But quick cursory glance at the SRC page for this game suggests nothing official yet. All I'm seeing is any % rank F and catch 'em all in various permutations, which I'm shocked that there is already a catch 'em all speedrun.
Shoutouts to Shen.
Yeah. Almost 9 hours.
Yeah, the catch 'em all was one of the first things Shen was just like, I'm doing it, and then did it. And we were like, cool. Anyway, this is where we essentially are told that we have research missions, which is essentially the Pokédex, this entire time around, but we're not going to pay attention to those whatsoever. We really just need Rock Smash to essentially move on with the rest of our day 2. And we're going to teach Bunnelby that real quick. And then we're done here. Up next, we got one quick scene with another Team MZ member, Naveen. This is the last member we're going to meet. I've done this for 2 different showcases now, elsewhere on the internet. And every time someone, one of my commentators or the host has commented on Scrafty's skin pants. Quack, thoughts?
You know, I wasn't gonna say anything, but as we slowly work our way towards discourse, I love the Scraggy line. I just think they're good. I just think they're good mons, and like, one of the first times I tried to get into like VGC was when Scrafty had any chance at all of being meta, because Fake Out Intimidate is busted. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, Incineroar didn't exist yet. Yeah. So I don't care if his pants are made of skin. That's my son.
It's like pants made of skin and pant too big for his legs. Like that's all the discourse is, and I love him either way. I think we're getting a little too caught up on the fact that
why? Yeah, why are we dwelling? He's a good kid. He's trying his best.
He's trying his best, and we're just gonna rock smash these rocks that were conveniently placed in our way to begin with, and then we're going to go back up the way we followed Urbane earlier, because what we're going to do real quick before night falls tonight is we're going to grab 2 EXP small candies real quick and boost our Totodile to to exactly level 14, which gets us just strong enough to basically make quick work of everything in tonight's ZA Royale. Let's not fall off the building. Okay, that was great. I've done so many runs since my first where I didn't mess up there, but of course I do that now of all times.
Showcase giveth, the showcase taketh away.
Showcase giveth, showcase taketh away. This is what I get for dwelling on skin pants for too long.
Yeah, it's punishment.
Okay, I'm gonna take my time. Gonna go slow to go fast, so I don't end up doing those candies one at a time. New idea for a move, that's just bite. I'm gonna make sure Totodile is actually leading so that doesn't mess up later for the ZA Royale. And we've really just poked our heads into Hotel Z just so Urbane can talk to us a little bit more, tell us about the ZA Royale. We get our challenger ticket, our assigned promotion match for tonight. And then we're right into our first, let's say, actual ZA Royale where we're a willing participant. If we want to start discourse, Quack, what's your favorite piece of Battle Royale media?
Oh, wow.
Because we're going to be seeing a lot of Battle Royales, and I'm going to be breaking a lot of kids' hopes and dreams tonight, so...
Oh, Battle Royale media. I was not prepared.
It's the whole gist of the game.
Yeah, but
there's more things, but this is
Pokemon is its own entity, you know? I don't know. Is it basic to say Hunger Games?
Hunger Games would be my choice too. I do give some credit to the original Battle Royale, both the movie and novel, but I think Hunger Games, just in terms of I read this book at a formative time kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Which, speaking of formative times, so I was watching the previous run, and I think pointing out just how old Pokemon X and Y were kind of sent me a shock. I played Pokemon X my freshman year of college.
No, don't. No, stop. I was doing when Headbob was like, yeah, X and Y came out like 12 years ago. I was doing the math on how long it's been since Ruby and Sapphire came out and crumbling to dust. So, chat, those came out in November of 2001.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't get caught by the trainer here, just because it is a one shot if I do sneak up. And I do not want to risk Bellsprout. I thought it was a one shot. I forget that my Totodile is a
silly little guy.
It's just a silly little guy. Anyway, tonight is essentially the ZA Royale tutorial, where we get to learn all most of the mechanics of the ZA Royale, like challenger points, getting those up, as well as the ability to sneak up on our opponents. We become essentially junglers in League of Legends.
Oh, of course.
Sorry.
I know what my least favorite piece of Battle Royale media is.
Yeah, League of Legends is a Battle Royale simply because you not only have to compete against the enemy team, but also your own teammates.
Exactly.
In this essay, I will.
We're doing chat sound off with Pokemon as champions in League of Legends.
That's just Pokemon Unite.
God, I forgot. I was living briefly.
Did you forget Pokemon Unite existed?
I was living briefly in a blessed world without a Pokemon MOBA. I'm so sorry.
Ooh, that's one EXP candy. So you'll also probably see me break some of my straight ahead dodge rolls or just veer off in some cases to pick up the little shiny objects on the ground. That's because ideally, in addition to a section later where we're going to be picking up even more EXP candies that are guaranteed because they are just item spawns that are already around, what we're also going to be doing is hopefully picking up some incidental small or extra small EXP candies to help us just bump up one more little threshold in terms of EXP when we get to our actual main. That just makes things a little bit easier down the line. You know, typical Pokemon fashion where we just overlevel our Pokemon and break stuff.
If it ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, we're going to talk to Urbane real quick before heading over to our promotion match. Our promotion match against Zach, the rank Z Eternal, or Les Z Eternal, as he is referred to in-game. It's this little section of movement that's also the funniest or clearest of just dodge rolling, which I find really funny.
Yeah, you are really just somersaulting up the boulevard.
I think I saw somersaulting up the boulevard open for Wolfpack once.
No, because somersaulting up the boulevard is an album. It's not a band. Don't.
Fine.
That was good, though. That was good. Come on to this show.
I come onto this show, hit you with your own jokes.
Offer no explanation and leave.
And leave. Also eat hot chip and lie, but that's another thing. Anyway, we're just going to be biting and water gunning Zach's entire team down, regardless of type matchup, because we are just that much stronger. Hopefully, I say. I once again forgot to equip Bubble Beam. That's great. It's still fine. 3 moves, still gets it. I will make sure that I have... Oh, with that crit, Water Gun should kill? Yeah.
Easy every time.
May the crits and cards be ever in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, Totodile's been critting kind of left and right so far, and I don't want to jinx it or commentators curse anything, but I think silly little guy may be putting in work on your behalf here.
He's putting in work, but luckily enough, there's really only one more battle we do need Totodile for, and then we will be on to our main for the rest of the run, which, chat, take your guesses now if you are not familiar with Legends ZA speedrunning whatsoever as to who that main is. The answer may surprise you.
Do I know this? I don't know if I know this. Wait, I think I do. Because
if you don't know this,
I think I do from tuning in. It's fine.
Yeah. Damn. Quack hasn't watched me run this before.
I know.
Sad.
What Pokemon? Good question in chat. What Pokemon is the most FromSoft Pokemon?
Ceruledge.
Ceruledge is pretty FromSoft. That's true. Is there like...
Okay, there was the FromSoft question in chat, as well as now people just posting Pokemon, and I don't know if they're answering in terms of my question of who they think the main is, or I'm assuming who I think the main is. Hitmontop is also a good FromSoft one, but like Hitmontop feels like a FromSoft boss, whereas Ceruledge feels like it could be a FromSoft player character.
I feel like Hitmontop is a little bit, I guess, not too silly for FromSoft, because FromSoft games have a really good sense of humor, in my opinion.
But
like silly in the wrong kind of way.
Imagine a big Hitmontop.
Okay, fair. Yeah, no, I see it.
Imagine 3 big legs all kind of like whipping at you at high speeds.
Yeah, no, you like put him in some edgy makeup and you get like a little bit Beast Clergyman vibes. I see it.
You just gotta like dirty him up a little bit. And then of course everyone's like Giratina and a crossbutt. Yeah, those all make sense as FromSoft bosses. Dragalge is also another one. Yeah. Giratina is a blood.
Golurk as a FromSoft boss is pretty good.
Anyway, speaking of terrifying things, Croissant Curry.
That is a FromSoft boss, it's true. I'm sorry, I know you're mashing through text, but did I see a character say Big Same?
I think so. It's been a while since I've actively paid attention to the text box in the first bit of this game.
That's fair. That's fair. Are we going to get an answer to the main question, though? No, we're never going to find out what Birch's main is.
Yeah, it should be one of the mysteries. We are coming up on the section where we do get that, though. So the answer is coming up soon.
We had to dwell on Croissant Curry first.
We had to dwell on Croissant Curry because they do several close-ups of it just in that one cutscene alone. Anyway, we're finally going to Prison Tower. You ready for a field trip, chat?
I do love field trips. I can't tell if we're still doing the like children's educational broadcast bit or not. I love field trips. Please don't have a packet for us. Is this anything?
A normal field trip with the fizz? With the frizz?
The fizz?
No way. The fizz? I'm mixing up my IPs now.
We're falling apart, chat.
As if we were ever together to begin with.
This is true. I feel like a FromSoft type Pokemon game is just kind of like emo Monster Hunter, if I'm being so for real. That's true. I mean, like, I don't know. Did you ever play any of the like Pokemon fan games in like the heyday of like really edgy Pokemon fan games?
No, but I do remember the one PETA made.
Okay, not that.
Yeah, that.
But there were there was an era in time where everyone who was like making Pokemon fan stuff was like, I'm gonna have it be darker and edgier.
Yeah, no,
and like,
I'm very much familiar with like the I'm gonna make my own Pokemon game, but it's gonna be post-apocalyptic. It's gonna be like nuclear fallout, and there's gonna be like a nuclear type, and that just never appealed to me. Outside of just that I didn't have the means to play them because I didn't know what fan games were at the time, or let's just say how to play fan games.
Yeah. But like, I feel like somewhere in it, like there were a lot of them and they took a lot of swings, but I feel like if you like collected all of the legit hits from that like era of Pokemon stuff, we could string together a pretty good Dark Souls world.
Yeah, I will say, I think the era of fan games we're in now is like so much more interesting, especially as people are like sort of looking back, not nostalgically, but I'd say try to just be like, what if we actually just tried to make a better Pokemon game?
Yeah, no, it's cool. And first of all, legally, shout outs to Parallel Universe if you want to see Pokemon fan games and indeed fan created content of a variety of things. Helix is a fantastic showrunner. There's a lot of cool stuff that gets shown there. But yeah, I think when it comes to Pokemon, because Pokemon like still in many respects is the creature collector genre, but that's starting to break now. Like there are other creature collectors that have teeth, so to speak. Like shout outs to Beastie Ball.
I knew exactly where you were going with that.
And it is fun to see designers be like, okay, here are my issues with Pokemon and what I think I can do to fix them. And here's what I really love about Pokemon and what I can do to like uplift that and really highlight it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, chat put it really well. We're in the era where we're seeing a lot of experimentation, and I think that's pretty neat.
I think some of my favorite Pokemon fan games, if I can gush about them for a second while we're still going through some cutscenes, a lot of the sort of roguelike takes on Pokemon have been interesting. As well as one in particular that has my eyes, Pokemon Close Combat, a fan-made fighting game.
Yes, oh my god, Pokemon Close Combat mentioned. See my Breloom.
See my failings. God, I wish this run could actually see failings, but it doesn't.
Speaking of silly little guys,
as well as Mega Evolutions, new to this game that I popped the heck off for when I first saw them. Okay, remind me as soon as we get after this next text box cutscene to change moves to Bubble Beam.
I was going to say, do we need to be menuing now? Cool. After this.
Yeah, we're supposed to. The idea is to menu immediately after. You know, I'm starting to realize I think tagging that Pokemon Center isn't any % thing, and I've started doing it by habit because I never deleted it from my notes. But you know.
How you said there's less like resource grinding in rank F as opposed to any %. Are there like major routing differences, or is it just like any % but do generally less stuff?
There's at least one EXP medium candy from this section that is cut that we don't grab, as far as I understand it, as well as so we don't get Mega Evolution essentially until the end of rank F, until we get to rank F. I'm going to try to lock in while I was explaining, and I sent out Fletchling first because I forgot to. Anyway, we're doing great, chat. I'm totally not.
We
getting
just
distracted.
had to let the silly little guy rest a little bit.
I'm totally not making mistakes because I'm doing this with commentary and getting distracted with my own jokes. It's fine. It's fine. It's a showcase. It's fine.
We're
Watch
chilling.
the run of this at AGDQ.
I am excited. I was glad to see, because when the game came out and any percent was like, well, when it first came out, like 7 hours long. I understand now.
8 hours initially.
Yeah. I was like, oh no. But seeing that there was a partial cap like this that is a more generally marathon workable length of time,
Yeah.
I was really excited to see it get in, and that is going to be a treat at AGDQ.
Yeah, I love it because, as I kind of said, it is that sort of like Act 1 where it's an exact turning point of the game. Anyway, let's lock in to catch this Pikachu. This was the other catch that is kind of annoying because it's either I need Pikachu to turn around, please. Pikachu's a little too... There we go. Backstrike should catch it. There we
Nice.
go. Nice. But yeah, so going back to your question about resource gathering and routing decisions between this and any percent, because we're only going through essentially the Act 1 up until rank F, there's going to be things we don't need, essentially, and a lot of the differences in routing comes from not doing that resource gathering, either grabbing a few XP candies, grabbing some items, as well as farming mega shards, you know, the pink or so rocks that we see all across the buildings and covering all across Lumio City. We're not collecting those because those are turned in for currency to get mega stones, and especially the mega stone for the main that we're going to use isn't available until we complete rank F.
So our main has a mega evolution. We're narrowing it down, chat.
We're narrowing it down, and no, it's not Phalanx.
That is a bummer. Mega Phalanx is an incredible design.
Amazing design, even 10 out of 10.
Love me,
But yeah.
silly little guy Voltron.
So anyway, Emma, the detective, if you're familiar with Pokemon lore, she is very much tied to Detective Looker and that whole story. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly back out to where we caught that Pikachu, and we're going to do a little bit more running around. Grab that. For safety. We're going to grab, because what Emma is now tasked to do is help her with some of her essentially jobs that she's been given, which essentially ends up becoming the basis for the side missions throughout the entire game. So right now we're essentially doing the side mission tutorial, but at this point we have more or less been given open access to Lumio City. I wish it would just immediately neutral fly and not default to pinning it. So with that, we're going to do a couple missions. And the reason why we caught the Pikachu is that one of these side missions is going to be trading with an NPC. And it's an NPC that wants us to catch a Pokemon that evolves using a Thunderstone. Thunderstone, evolution, Pikachu. I think she explicitly names Pikachu, but... So right now we're doing the medium EXP farming and gathering, as well as activating some of these side missions. Making very good use of all the fly points that we have now gathered in just walking around, all leading up to getting our main.
The anticipation is killing
The anticipation,
me.
chat, get those last couple of... Some people were close, I will say.
Oh gosh, now I gotta scroll up.
Some people were close. All I'll say was getting pretty warm with some of the types mentioned.
Noted.
So yeah, we're popping into some of these restaurants because these restaurants have some of the items that we want. Gonna hopefully not talk to any of the NPCs. Neutral fly back out of here. So also, speaking of just the wild concept of some of these wild zones being built, this frankly takes the cake for me. They really go off the rails with just how they sort of like fit some of these wild zones into the game later. But I think making a wild zone out of a cemetery truly is the most Pokemon thing I could ever imagine.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the lore for like most ghost Pokemon in your universe, and then all of a sudden you want to do a slightly more hard sci-fi take on like a city that has people and Pokemon in it, your hands are like a little tied.
Yep.
Yeah, but chat saying it correctly and explicitly. The implications of this are horrifying.
The implications. Yes, the ghosts do need to live somewhere, but at the same time, it's like the woman explicitly expressed that she was trying to visit her husband's grave when a Sableye came out and scared her and got her to drop her wedding ring. So, you know, take what you get. Okay, we are flying back to the Pokemon Center right by... The main is usually one of the boys. Interesting that you say that, chatter.
Would you describe the ZA main as one of the boys?
As one of the boys, and I would even crack open a cold one with him. Anyway, we're going to trade for Pikachu. If you saw in the text box real quick, it's Heracross. Heracross is the main. If you guessed Heracross, you were correct. If you didn't, -1 point.
I always forget that Heracross has a Mega, and like a pretty good Mega too.
It's a pretty good Mega. But yeah, especially a Heracross that we get in a trade evolution, so it takes EXP a lot better. Or it gets a little bit of a boost to EXP that we give it, even the EXP candies, as well as just a very good attack stat. It does have some perfect IVs in attack and HP at least, which also benefits to it. Which is kind of why the game kind of pointed us towards, oh yeah, this is a really good Pokemon to use. Just across the board. Anyway, we're going to do a little bit of menuing really quick after this, where I'm going to change out some box party lineup stuff, and then also force feed Heracross some candies. I'm mostly saying this out loud so I don't forget myself at this point, because I've clearly forgotten basic menuing over the course of this run. Boxes.
While you menu, how many ghost... I mean, focus on menuing. I'm going to entertain with how many ghost Pokemon canonically feed off of Life Force or lure children to their deaths at this point. I can confidently name 3, I want to say. Like that I vividly remember Dex entries that are like, this is explicitly what's going on. But it's gotta be more than that. Like 3 seems low given just how regularly horrifying ghost Pokemon are.
It's definitely more than that. I need to also teach it Rock Smash for the time being.
Shoutouts to Drifloon though. Gotta be some of the lore of all time.
It's gotta be some of the lore of all time. Anyway, we now have our Heracross, who's level 23. Ideally, I would have liked one more small candy. Is there a Spinnerack on this wall? There is not. I'm not going to worry about catching one. I'll just grab that revive for safety while I'm looking at it. And now we're getting to essentially the rest of our side missions, which is going to involve beating the Sableye here, as well as the Mega Bumblebee that our first backpacker told us about. We're going to do it with the power of friendship.
And just checking in after these side missions, we're at about 56 minutes on the clock. After these side missions, a good time to take our break?
Yep.
Perfect.
I'll be sure to correctly do some menuing while we're on break.
I mean, Mimikyu just wants friends is like the most
Mimikyu's just like
low-key.
Just like me for real,
The most low-key way to describe Mimikyu's. God, what's Mimikyu's Z move again? It's like hug forever or something that's like in that sweet mascot horror zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking it up. Let's snuggle forever.
We'll snuggle.
That's the one.
That's terrifying, honestly. Oh damn! I didn't even one-shot it, and I got it.
Nice. Yeah, just nice and horrifying. Shoutouts to Mimikyu.
Yeah. Okay. We'll return the ring and then return to Emma, and then once we're done with Emma, we are good to take a break.
Sounds good.
Chat, we need to think of more discourse.
We're gonna have time. We're gonna have time to think.
We're gonna have time to think about it. I know.
Refresh the discourse minds.
That's just opening social media.
God. I'll stick with Pokemon discourse. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, Emma is just going to challenge us to a quick little battle and then teach us about Mega Evolution. Or I guess she's teaching us about Mega Evolution right now, but imagine reading.
That's the point of today's show. Is the hope is by the end of it, I'll know enough letters
I need you to imagine
be able to
reading.
Read. Okay, I'm manifesting it.
I need you to rotate an alphabet in your mind.
Okay, as long as chat does it with me, I'm scared.
Don't be scared. You're challenged by Detective Emma. She throws out a single Mareep.
The Heracross is nicknamed, boys. Chat was funnier than I could have possibly known. I'm so sorry.
I need you to know I called out that
game.
one comment in particular because of that.
I was not familiar with your game. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, we are coming to the cutscene where we're just going to see Mega Ampharos real quick, and then as soon as we are free to our own volition again, we are good to take our break real quick.
Sounds good. So once Birch is out of this cutscene, they're going to pause the game and we will pause the timer as well. For those of you unfamiliar with GDQ Hotfix, for our longer runs, we like to take a break in the middle so that you all can hydrate, our runners can stretch and rest their hands because we take care of our hands, and also so that we can run ads on this channel. It is what keeps us being able to bring Hotfix to you week after week after week. Thank you so much to everyone who has come in. We've had a couple raids tonight. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported the channel with subs, gift subs, and bits. It truly does help us keep the show running. If you're enjoying the stream and you have the means, consider subscribing. It'll get you access to our swanky emotes that get updated every event, as well as ad-free viewing and chat during replays. If not, we hope you'll just spread the word. letting your friends know about Hotfix is also great for helping us make sure that we can keep bringing cool new speedruns and strange speedruns to you all. So with that, perfect timing. I nailed it. We are going to take a quick break. I will see you back here for the thrilling conclusion of Pokemon Legends ZA. Wow, rank F in a couple minutes. I'll see you there. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our cozy Pokemon Christmas Make Your Own Victory. Here to finish off in style the rest of the alphabet, I guess. Well, some of the rest of. Here to conclude the rank F speedrun, please welcome back Professor Birch.
We're just going to get right back into it as soon as I get into the game, and bam. Okay, real quick, I'm going to change Heracross's moves from Rock Smash to Brick Break, just so I make sure to do it. And now we're going to settle into essentially what is the gameplay loop for the rest of the run, and that is killing some time on benches to get to Night for the ZA Royale, and then doing the ZA Royale to get our Challenger ticket, and then fighting our promotion match, all the way to rank F. We're still at rank Y, chat.
I was going to say, I am no mathematician, but I believe if this pace keeps up, we'll be hitting rank F in approximately 19 more hours, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is probably Mercy kill range.
That's what you think.
Okay.
Okay, so as we've kind of mentioned before, the crits and cards in our favor. This is very silly, but I needed to complete this card immediately, and it's actually quicker to do this than just take the fight without sneaking up. Because, so essentially in this same gameplay loop of every night we need to do the ZA Royale, hit a certain threshold of points to get our Challenger ticket to move on to the next one. We need to not only win all of our fights, which we could do so in pretty overwhelmingly dominant fashion, thanks to boys just being that much stronger than literally every other Pokemon we will see at the moment. But how we also supplement that is that each trainer is worth X number of points depending on their rank. So in this case, Y ranked trainers are worth 400 points, going up 50 in increments of 50 theoretically from there. How we supplement that or get more points is also by picking up these cards. These cards are going to be the sort of biggest random factor of the battle royale of the ZA Royales each night, outside of just simply which trainers are here each night, because there are essentially sets of trainers that you can reliably sort of pick out or identify from a distance. But it's not guaranteed what trainers are going to be here each night. Essentially, kind of turning, in a way, this part of the game into, I wouldn't say like roguelike necessarily. It's just kind of a, but it is a lot more random than we'd think. So the goal of all this, to save time, is just try to finish each night in as few battles in the Royale as possible, and then go to our respective promotion match. In this case, to go from Y to X. And with that 550, we are good. That is a 4-win night, which is honestly one of the quicker ones I've had in a bit. So we are just going to immediately pop over here, Wild Zone 5, and then go to our next promotion match against an actual trainer and not just the ZA Royale's punching bag in Zach.
Oh, I see. We went from Zach to Yvonne. Methinks I understand the pattern of this.
You get the bit.
Yeah, so you said four wins was a pretty good evening. How much time save is like good RNG versus average or bad in the ZA Royale?
Let's say if you average about 450 per fight, between, just theoretically speaking, starting in the X to W, like, of course, with each rank, you're going to need 1,000 more points to essentially get the challenger's ticket. So theoretically speaking, if none of my cards were good tomorrow night, I would need 10 fights to clear it. And when I say cards are not good, I mean cards that like I just literally cannot complete the condition for them. But that being said, we'll generally get some cards line up in a way where it's like, they do generally try to spawn cards that are relevant to members you have in your party, but sometimes, especially later on in the game, and this is kind of where the challenge of A% comes in, is those totals of points that you need get much bigger, and those cards get a lot less consistent. So, but while we're kind of just working through these first 5 zones, they are much more consistent, as well as the point totals are pretty low enough that like it doesn't take too many battles, and with boys, we can pretty much win most battles fairly quickly. I say most because there's one trainer in particular that is truly a pain for us, and we try to avoid him. But that being said, there's also other things, like there's a certain trainer class that wear these Ultra Ball designed hats. I was going to say heads. Ultra Ball designed hats that if you beat them, they'll give you one of their cards for the night. And typically those cards are rare or have a higher point total than cards you typically pick off the ground. So
interesting.
Realistically, I would love to see at least an Ultra Ball trainer, as we refer to them, in some of the later ones, essentially starting from now onwards. But besides that, it's just whichever way the wind blows. I've also had a 3-fight night. I think I submitted this run to the upcoming Fatales event, Frost Fatales, and in my submission run for that, I had a 3-fight rank Y battle royale. So it could really go. I think that's like the floor if you get like really lucky, but at times I've also had like 7 to 8 fight rank Ys. Yeah.
Wow.
Shoutouts to Fatales. FF. Gotta get to rank FF. Anyway, I'm staying close to Heracross because the only move Heracross can use on Sableye is Pin Missile. I want to make sure that Heracross can get that out as fast as possible. Also, fun fact, all these sort of multi-hit moves from the regular games, so Rock Blast, Pin Missile, even Double Slap, Double Kick, all of them, whereas in the regular games, it would be a random chance of it will either do those moves a certain range of 2 to 5 in the case of Pin Missile. Pin Missile in this game, as well as Rock Blast, are guaranteed all 5 shots.
Oh, wow.
It's just also you have to hit a ranged move. So in some cases, if the move starts, but the opponent's Pokemon moves behind something just from the sake of the trainer moving or getting ready to use a move, then of course you're going to miss some of them. Also, fun fact, there are some cards that require hit X number of X type moves. If you sneak up with someone with one of those multi-hit moves, only the first hit counts.
Aww.
But if you use them in an actual battle, every single hit of something like Pin Missile counts towards that card.
Okay, that seems almost like that seems. What am I trying to say?
Balanced?
Like a kind of salient balance decision. Yeah.
Sneak up and start with electric type moves. That is all well and good. I think I want to dodge real quickly to get this. Okay, I didn't even dodge that much. Immediately knock out opponents. If I could find something that grab a third card before I do anything. Oop.
Hello, Pop-In Beedrill.
And this is why we keep Pokemon. This is essentially why we keep any Pokemon that's not boys in our party throughout the run, is because when cards pop up, going to need to heal that poison. That's a little annoying. When cards pop up that in the off chance that we do get something like sneak up with electric type moves or sneak up with water type moves, it's very good to have that sort of range of coverage so that we're able to complete said cards. Yes, I know about Pokemon evolution. Thank you. Can use the Pecha Berry so I don't have to use the full restore. But yeah, then we're gonna grab. I cannot hit lit. See, this is what I mean in that they try to balance the cards between what you have, but at times they're also like, no. Anyway, block this overhead. I swear to God, a poison.
It
Stink
really
poisoned again.
is just block this overhead, isn't it?
It really is just block this overhead.
Sometimes you don't need fancier animations. It's fine.
I would love to hit someone with one of the coffee waitresses. There are several NPCs in the Battle Royale that, based on their trainer class, if you beat them, give you something in return. Like I said, with the Ultra Ball guys, they give you a rare card because they're kind of like the collector class. There's cafe employees that give you a coffee. That sort of cafe and restaurant employees that give you a coffee that essentially is a full heal for your team. And then the delivery people give me items, and that's just Great Balls. I do not need Great Balls at the moment. And this poison is fairly annoying that I'm going to, yeah. I'd like to not use that, but you know.
Double poisons. Honestly, that's been the thing today, because Headbob also got misroll out into get poisoned in the XY run. There's just
What is it about Lumiose or Kalos in general and poison? You know?
just getting all our toxicity out before the end of the year.
And you know, I could sure use that. Let's go, boys. Yeah, see, so with the rollings, I probably could have brought Fletchling out and used an Ember there to get a KO to get that card, but it's also only 300 points, so it is not the most pressing card I should be focused on completing. And I'm just kind of picking up items here just in case for healing stuff. Yeah, you know what? I don't need to sneak up at the moment. Just don't. Yep, that's exactly what I want to avoid.
Instant para, wow. Because I know it got kind of weird with Legends Arceus. Do abilities exist in this game? Like, do you have guts?
Abilities do not exist in this game.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid
So
of.
there's also with all the Mega Evolutions that were introduced, there's been a lot of fan speculation as to what the abilities of said Megas are going to be once they finally get returned to like a, let's say, standard Pokemon game. I don't want to say normal.
Yeah.
I do have a Paralyzed Heal, so that is good, but I am going to just let this rock then, because at least with Paralyzing, that's just speed decrease. So it's not like something where Poison, where I do have to worry about Heracross's health over the time. Because speed in this case really only affects cooldown reduction, and if we're one-shotting things in most cases, we really don't need to worry about moving fast or cooldowns being that worrisome. And this is just gonna be my last battle. Luckily I did not get caught off guard. See, I just block this overhead.
Block this overhead.
Yeah, see, this is a 7-win night, but I think if one of these cards was just land flying type moves or land fighting type moves instead of to go to Lay Wow. And this is why we pick up some of these healing items in general. Yeah, there's my Paralyze Heal.
Wow, I can't believe they finally went back and spelled Paralyze Heal correctly in the new generations of games. Pour one out for Paralyze Heal.
Pour one out for Paralyze Heal.
If your bones hurt when we brought up how old X and Y was.
Just imagine.
Pour one out. 07's in the chat for Paralyze Heal.
Anyway, this kid is rude to us, and we're going to destroy him. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Call me Krampus the way I'm about to ruin this boy's dreams with the boys.
I don't think I can give that better than a 7 out of 10. I'm sorry.
That's fair. I was expecting a much worse grade on that. Anyway,
I know you're the professor here. However.
Anyway, catch this overhead before Reflect goes up. Yeah, I'm the Pokemon professor, and I have come up with much better names for all of Boy's moves.
Yeah, also in this fight, I'm for real appreciating how much coverage Heracross actually has.
Heracross
you can hit most things, huh?
Yeah, Heracross has wild coverage, because even Takedown got us through Yvonne pretty quickly, despite us having really no good moves besides Takedown and Aerial Ace into, like, 2 fairy types. Anyway, we're ranked W now, and we have 2 more ZA Royale nights after this, which is fun. Anyway, more croissant curry.
No, not again.
Quack, what's your favorite food crime?
What's my favorite food crime?
Or like, what's your food crime of choice?
I mean, when I was a kid, I would just like drink straight soy sauce. Just like straight from packet to mouth. That's the food crime that I like most immediately comes to mind. It's not croissant curry levels of crime. The face I just made. It's okay, still definitely criminal.
I gotta ask, like, was it at least low sodium?
No, it was not.
Oh, that's just...
I was a child.
Maybe this is me just being in my, like, late 20s, but the amount of sodium, just a straight packet of soy sauce alone, just, I think spiked my blood pressure.
There are things, there are jokes I could make.
Yeah, Quack, are you okay? The chat is asking very important questions.
I'm fine. I haven't done it in a while. Don't ask me for an exact number of years.
Has it at least been 5?
Has it at least been 5? Probably.
Okay.
What year is it? It's almost 2026. Wait, have I drank straight soy sauce as a girl? This is a good question. Another deep make your own victory lore.
Quote that.
I'm good. Pineapple on pizza isn't a food crime. I'm so
glad this is the conversation during a cutscene. Can you imagine if we were in the middle of a battle doing this? Anyway, we're gonna finally fight Lita as our last rival battle of the... As our last actually fought rival battle of the run. And here, I thought I was going to have a line like that on stream.
You asked about the food crimes.
I asked about food crimes, but I was not expecting have I drank soy sauce since I... since I've been a girl.
Yes, thank you. Hi. I know, like, conservatively once an episode, I talk about how Make Your Own Victory cannot and should not dispense medical advice. But the sodium, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. You heard it here first. In your Pokemon speedrun, we're getting educated.
It's gonna be on the test.
It's gonna be on. We're adding a new section to the test.
Yeah, in partnership with Think Fast.
Our themes today are Pokemon and transition trivia.
What is Pokemon but transitioning everlasting?
You know, we could workshop that.
Can we? Up and coming new web manga.
Once again, for the record, Make Your Own Victory is not, has never been, and will never be medical advice.
Chat, I love you.
But
As a friend, but yes.
Shoutouts to the Twitch chat for Make Your Own Victory. If you're watching this in the future on YouTube, you can also have my shoutouts. But you have to promise me that you found this a little bit funny.
There are some times that Twitch chat is much funnier than those of us on stream, and this is one of those times. Anyway, quick dive over the
welcome
bench.
back to the ZA Royale. We did it. We powered through. We powered through the daytime with completely normal.
By just sitting on the bench. I was over on the bench when soy sauce was brought up. Fly to the wild zone real quick. And here we are back at it again.
So do the cards like it? What am I trying to say? Is there a completely static like list of possibilities for what can be on the cards, or as you increase in rank, are there more weirder cards that you can get access to?
I think it more or less is a static pool. There isn't too much variation in terms of like, oh hey, there's these types of missions, there's these types of missions, or like these types of cards. But I think the pool does get wider, as I said, like as the game goes on. And I was supposed to sneak up with a normal type move. I didn't read that. Imagine reading.
I'm still spinning it in my head. It's going faster now.
You don't see me, you don't see me. There we go. Now you see me, now you don't.
Oh my god, the splash animation.
You know what? What do you have? Why not? Cans of lemonade. That's healing.
Okay, healing's not bad.
I'm primarily, since I already had to use a few things of like status ailment healing prior to this. You know what? I think Mareep can Mareep get the kill on it? It did! Let's go.
Nice.
And this is going to be another water type, so I'm just going to leave Mareep in. Boys gets a much needed break until now. Watch me dodge that rock throw like that. That was planned.
I mean, hey, that's points there. Talking about may the tickets be in your favor.
Is chat talking about the anti-homeless architecture benches?
Yes, this is what I was like. We've had a little bit of discussion. You've been locked in, so I didn't want to pull you to that.
No, I looked over just as I was finishing up that last fight, and I see the phrase "implications of homelessness" in Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of, like, we were talking about ghost Pokemon earlier, and yes, like, obviously, the way we engage with homelessness and the way we engage with hypothetical stuffed animals dragging people's souls out of their body are different. But, like, Pokemon has a lot of fringe horror.
I mean,
what are anti-homeless benches in Lumiose if just not another manifestation of the fringe horror of Pokemon?
I mean, we also have to remember that effectively France is canonical to Pokemon if we think about Kalos just kind of being a stand-in for that. So Spring Fee. So this is me segueing into my favorite bit to do during this run is thoughts on the French Revolution in the Pokemon, or the Colossian Revolution in the Pokemon universe. Does Kalos have a monarch? Or did they? They certainly don't in present day.
They definitely don't in present day. Gosh, does Kalos have a monarch? Did Kalos have a monarch? I know it's the wrong, like, historical event, but I feel like the Kalos version of Les Miserables would go hard. To the light barrier? Is this anything? It's, you know, that if you've got lyrics,
do you
for
hear
one day more?
Do you hear the Pokey sing? Do you hear the trainer sing? Singing a song of angry mons.
Well, you know, we'll workshop this. My
Daisy
DMs,
was canonically king. Canonically, I can speak. One more fight, and I do see a trader which is Riolu across the way. The fun thing about Bois is that Heracross can fly. Let me get this angle. Block this overhead. And you know what? Fair enough. Real.
Fair.
And
You see, conversations like this are why edgy post-apocalyptic Pokemon fan games keep happening.
Hey,
so true. Chat once again funnier than I could ever be.
the French Revolution is not edgy. It's history. Just because there's guillotines.
Guillotine is the name of a move in Pokemon. It's true. We're talking about Pokemon here.
Okay,
Those of you
that's our
playing
challenger
along
ticket.
at home.
And since we don't have a good way to this spot, what we're going to do is we're just going to go to the Pokemon Center that we've been flying to this entire time and just roll our way over to our next promotion match.
When in doubt, dodge roll it out.
When in doubt, dodge roll it out.
So for these like corners and stuff, are you like adjusting your direction and then going neutral on the control stick to get the faster dodge rolls?
Yep. Sometimes I also just
love
run.
speedrunning.
I love speedrunning.
I love
Speedrunning is
speedrunning.
amazing. Anyway, this is officially our last, I'll say, normal promotion match. Because as you can tell, we're probably getting really close up to that estimate.
You know, we've improved our pace from 1 rank per hour, but I feel like there's a lot of letters in between here and F, and we are coming up on 90 minutes on the timer, so like...
Well, it's a good thing I don't know my ABCs.
Wait, you don't? Bert, you were supposed to be teaching me.
Then who's flying the plane?
Exactly. I also, wait a second. Was this gentleman's name Renatro? Did we skip some letters? Did they decide the bit
Rintaro,
wasn't...
they break the bit almost immediately after Zavi.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it, honestly. That's rude. Anyway, Rentaro, clearly a callback to the first gym in Unova, where it was a restaurant where the gym leaders used the elemental trio of monkeys.
Cress and
Cillian,
and the third one.
I don't want to. Cinder feels wrong, but Crest is water. Cillian, I knew was the grass type because he was in the anime.
This is really stretching Pokemon lore muscles that I have not had to stress in a while.
Oh, hey, Zygarde.
That's a good dog.
That's a good dog. Anyway, we're coming up to the first and only rogue mega Pokemon fight of the run. So get ready to strap in, and hopefully I don't get too distracted by, everything. And
Chili.
do this cleanly. Chili! Thank you, Cress, Cillian, Chili. Yeah. Yes, Emma, I'm still on Zygarde's tail. Thank you. You ever think that, I think with how many times I've ran behind Zygarde right now, I very much noticed a very specific design choice made in Zygarde, and press 1 chat if you've noticed it too. Don't do that. Don't spam. But yeah, quite. See, that was the design choice I was speaking of.
That is the design choice of all time.
What a weird looking dog, yeah.
Right, hey, Zygarde's a good puppy.
Zygarde's a good
I'm a cat person, but that's a good dog.
That's a good dog. A dog that was somehow able to carry us to this roof. Now, speaking of dog, chat, is Absol a dog or a cat?
Now that's not the common one to do this discourse on. I don't have an answer prepared for that. Is Absol... No, Absol...
Is it better or worse than the little X, right?
It's real.
It's fair.
Is Absol... I feel like Absol's like a wolf, right?
I would say...
So dog?
I'd say it's probably more lynx more than anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
The dog-cat dichotomy, of course, applies to any animal species within the genus.
Either it's emo is a good way to cut through the discourse.
Because if tonight will be the night that I will fight for you. Anyway, I saw the Absol glow.
Wow, I'm getting whiplash from the references being thrown together.
So, mega fights. I should explain how the rogue mega fights work. So, much like some of the fights from Legends Arceus, this is essentially a raid boss. But how this raid boss essentially works is that we're going to hit Absol a little bit, also trying not to get hit with moves until we have the energy to Mega Evolve. And then once we do, Mega Evolve. Of course, once we're Mega Evolved, we do more damage to Mega Evolved Pokemon because we get to use something called Plus Moves. Plus Moves are the extra added bit to the mechanic of this battle system, where they're just stronger, slightly more upgraded versions of the moves, as well as a way to sort of balance the playfield between Pokemon that can Mega Evolve and not Mega Evolve. Like, say you don't want to use Mega Evolve Pokemon through your playthrough for any reason. You can totally do that.
But also I noticed you've been given Lucario for this fight.
Yes, we are given AZ's Lucario because that is the Pokemon I have access to. And I'm halfway through Okay, we're gonna back off here. Get out of crouch, please. Please don't. I was stuck in a very opportune spot and probably could have died to damage myself there, which would have been fun. And of course, with that, Mega's gonna run out. So this goes back to not being the cleanest Absol fight I've ever had.
That Absol's really picking on you personally.
Yeah, the rogue Pokemon do that. Even honestly, some of the alpha Pokemon, and I thank goodness for iframes from Mega Evolving. I should be able to get it in just a few more. And I should be able to get it in this Mega Evolution itself. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the dodge, no.
There it is. Okay, that's... Whew, that was a rough one. I could have done that better, but I think I just gotten a little too awkward of positions with those dark pulses sometimes.
That juke on the rock smash at the end there was so mean.
That was mean. Also, like, Mega Absol's Dark Pulse there is a guaranteed flinch, so if you try to use a move while Lucario's already standing in it, it flinches and eats the cooldown. So this is the one fun thing that because we only have Lucario for that fight, the Absol fight is very execution based, or it's just as execution based as all the Rogue Megas later on, but any percent has developed team comps that essentially shred Mega Bosses like you wouldn't believe. A lot of using Screeches, Leers, things like that to lower defenses. And because we're using Heracross as a main, in any percent, like, you even catch a Fan Thump in any percent. Do you want to take a guess as to why you catch a Fan Thump?
Oh, because Forest Curse.
Exactly, Forest Curse.
You can give things Grass type. Yeah,
you give things Grass type, and then the combination of Lunge, Aerial Ace, Mega Horn, plus like one defensive shred move, like just tears through Pokemon that Heracross really should not have a type advantage against.
Yeah, I think that like type of move, like your Forest Curse and your Soak and stuff, is just really cool design, and I'm glad to see it getting use and things.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's also, ideally, if this was any percent, I would have liked to seen a Spinarak in that cemetery early on, because in that route, we do catch that as well. One, because it has Screech, which is, like I said, some of these defense shredding moves, but also has just like a variety of coverage similar to Heracross, which makes it, honestly, in my opinion, one of the worst Pokemon to ever be useful in a Pokemon speedrun. Anyway, we're gonna swap out Penelope for Absol. Give Absol the Absolite that we got, because we do get a Mega Stone with each and every Rogue Mega that we do defeat. And I know, Urbane, you really want to fight right now, but we got a run to finish, so, you know. This joke would be much funnier if we just got to the forfeit a lot quicker. Anyway, we're forfeiting this fight.
Wow.
Which we're allowed to do so. Someone asked, how long is 80% in chat? 80% currently, if you check SRC boards, the record sits at around a 6:11, but we do have recorded evidence of a 6:05, 6:06 for the exact Yeah.
Is that also Head Bob?
Who am I? DS, I think.
Oh, Humus. Yeah.
Yeah, Humus. I forget how to pronounce their name sometimes.
Hey, you're a brand new Pokemon speedrunner.
But
I
also
say like
shoutouts-
I've speedrun a Pokemon game before.
Shoutouts
It's
to-
fine. One day.
Shoutouts to the Pokemon speedrunning community. Generally has been one of the more chill chill speedrunning communities I have joined generally, which I do appreciate. They are very welcoming. Especially the Switch Pokemon speedrunning team. There's a card right here. Let's go. And sneak up with flying type
And it's
moves. Don't
useful.
mind if I do. Catch the overhead. I forget. I don't remember if Heracross is in close combat or not. I think it is. Any major speedrunning differences between the Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions? Load times primarily. It has been done by some. Any percent has been attempted on the Switch 1, and the load times have equated to like at least from when it was attempted, an hour and some change from
An hour?
just from load times. This was like etiquette running it too.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, like, as soon as the Switch 2 came out, I know like every Switch Pokemon game was rerouted, or not rerouted, was like rerun for literally free world records.
Yeah.
But an hour is wild.
It was something along the lines of like 7 hints of fine type moves. That's good. Like 7 hours and 7.5 hours at least. Like this was also still at the time when like record was like 620 something. Before that really dropped down. But that being said, use dig.
Rude.
This game does run pretty well on the Switch 1 from what I've heard. So don't let that, if you only have a Switch 1, don't let that discourage you from running this game generally. I'm running like around a completely different Ultra Ball guide. I'd love to see you. Out of all the times I could see all the zones I could see Ultra Ball guy, seeing him in this zone in particular, being our last battle zone, so we are coming up towards the end, is one of the most ideal places to do so, especially when we have no cards.
Yeah,
and
no
still
kidding.
have just under halfway to go of the point total. Please be good. Super effective moves, doesn't matter what kind, for 400. I'll take that, especially when
you've got a Riolu right here.
that. I
And
can
yes,
just-
looking at SRC, there are some Switch 1 runs on the boards, and they do have a variable for which console you run on, so you can compete just against your own console.
And I do recommend, if you just want to at least see how this game runs, or at least how the speedrun feels on the Switch 1, Rank F is like, I think just from my own experience, I'd say like the platonic ideal of an introductory Pokemon speedrun. Oh my god, Heracross, the paralyze really does make a difference when you're walking up to someone like that. Heracross, I need you to...
Not the Parafusion. We going all the way back to Gen 3 strats. Gen 3 strats to lose friends over.
It's not like this run was going to be a PB either way.
What is your PB for Rank F?
152. So, I'm a little on the newer side. If you see the boards, it's a lot of... There we go. Okay, I was like, if Heracross threw that takedown into the wall, I would have been sad.
Yeah, I mean, the category is still, and indeed the game is still relatively new. Folks have been hard at work trying to grind times down.
Yeah. The way I did is I essentially got my submission in for Fatales after like two or three walkthrough runs, and then I was like, I have to finish my grad school semester. Hide in the bush, hide in the bush. Please hit. Nope.
Gumi said no thank you.
Gumi had the jukes.
Gumi actually said, and Totodile crits again. One for the road.
You'd think he'd have the ability to clear something. Honestly, I think I'm gonna let boys pass out because I do have some revives, and that would clear the paralysis. But I do just need about 2 more fights or one that I can get a card. This is quite the pro gamer strat, and I'm just gonna throw out a takedown and yep.
The immediate stop on the movement. Pokemon games have a good sense of humor. Sometimes it's by accident,
yeah,
but they do.
Sometimes Pokemon game animation is good. Okay, it's one more fight. I'm gonna use the max revive I have because
Welcome back, boys.
Welcome back, boys.
One might say the boys are back in town.
One might say the boys are back in town. I don't care if you... Up. Oh, look, a Baneri. We're going to see another Baneri sometime soon.
That's not ominous at all.
Anyway, that is our challenger ticket. 10 wins, which is not the cleanest rank V system, but we also had a paralyzed boys with not fantastic cards, so we take those. Anyway, we have to head to Quizartico because what we're doing is paying a good visit to our friend Vinny. But first, we need to fight these guards today.
Now that's very FromSoft.
Yeah, these are the most...
2 high-level enemies just chilling in the final area of the run.
We use Absol here because hopefully a plus move slash actually can hit both of them. And I use plus move Night Slash, which is... I did not mean to throw a Pokeball there.
For the road.
This is why we use Absol here, just because the Denays love to use Nuzzle, and we typically don't have an extra paralyzer status heal here. So if we were to have boys get paralyzed, that does kind of make this next fight, our last fight, a little bit rougher. We're gonna have to fight Vinny to get up to rank F because Quizartico is very much familiar with our exploits from the night before of taking care of the Rogue Mega Absol, and they're asking Team MZ to come help. Imagine asking children to help solve your problems if you're a corporation. It's a Pokemon game. What did you expect?
It's a Pokemon game, TM.
This is going to be the only time we see a trainer use a Mega Evolution against us. So there's also that too. And this is where the breakpoint of rank F kind of is like the end to Act 1, because as soon as we're sort of enlisted by Quizartico, to help them with the problem. Then we kind of settle into the rhythm of what the mid to late game for Legend ZA is, in the same kind of pattern of defeat some rogue megas, do a ZA Royale night, get a challenger ticket, promote. But we also throw in a lot of side quests with like side characters that we do see later on in the game that we really only saw like 1 or 2 of them in this first couple of hours. But yeah, we have to fight Vinny to get up to rank F. Time is going to be on the fade out after the animation where we go up to rank F. So if tech could be ready on that, as long as I don't die in this fight.
Hey, don't die in this fight.
This fight is pretty...
It's critical to my learning of the alphabet that you
It's
don't
critical
die in
to
this
your
fight.
learning of the alphabet because we need to look at all the letters between V and F. I love how before every promotion match, they give you 3 dialogue options. Hitting any of them really does the same thing. Pokemon game.
Pokemon thing. God, who was it? I think it was Greg Lovinov, actually. Shout outs to Beastie Ball, who was like, I'm begging of you, if you have dialogue options in your game, please make them actual options.
Okay, we're gonna get boys out of the fire. Through fire and flames. Hey, look, Baniri. Let's hope we don't get charmed. Draining Kiss is what we like to see here. This way we don't have to plus move Brick Break on the next Pokemon, which is Sharpedo, which gives it a guaranteed knockout in 1 shot. And then the fun thing is this is where plus moves, or using a regular Pokemon that can't Mega Evolve with plus moves comes in handy, because the last Pokemon we have to beat in this run is the new Mega form for Drampa. Speaking of FromSoft bosses, comes full circle, baby.
Yeah, no arguments here.
A quick plus Brick Break and a quick plus Pin Missile takes care of Drampa in 2 hits because we did not get charmed. And that is Vinny down. And with that, our wild ride is just about over.
What did you say your PB was?
152. Don't say it until the time's actually called.
Yeah, no. We're gonna wait for the delay. That was a lot of letters.
Time.
All right, I'm gonna see. It's gonna be close. Nah, it looks like this is just gonna barely slip over into 153.
Okay, that checks.
That's still not bad for a marathon showcase.
For a marathon showcase where we had, I definitely did not have some of the cleanest movement. I also fell off the building all the way at the beginning, which definitely added another like 20 to 30.
So okay, just do what Birch did, but don't fall off that one building that one time. Yeah, F's in the chat.
F's in the chat.
Looks like the final time was 1:53:05, so very close to PB.
That is a minute over my PB.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's solid.
make your own victory, Urbane. I congratulate you both on your promotion to rank F. Well deserved. We really worked all the way up through the ranks, fair and officially. And I guess with that, that's been me on this stream. I guess I should start doing shoutouts. I realize the run is over.
Yep, all you.
And this is the part where I like defer to commentators, but I didn't bring any. Anyway, I have been Professor Birch. This has been Pokemon Legends ZA rank F. It's a fun time, fun run. Please do it. Shoutouts to, like I said, Pokemon Switch speedrunning community. They've been so great. Especially feels welcoming enough to someone brand new to Pokemon speedrunning. It's been wonderful. Cannot sing praises of the community enough. And if you would like to catch me more or anywhere else, you could find me on most sites at Professor Birch. And if you can't find me on any site at Professor Birch, I am not on those. So, do with that what you will. But also, if you want to see me anywhere else, I'm not going to have any part of the AGDQ run for this, whether that be the runner or couch. But you can catch me running 2 other whole games at AGDQ. So check the schedule out for that. It's Split Fiction on Sunday night, and then Bill Nye the Science Guy, Stop the Rock on Tuesday. So that's where you can find me after this.
We've already learned our letters, but in January, you'll teach us science.
I will teach you science in January.
I couldn't think of a better way to proceed. No, thank you so much, Birch. I'm elated to see you speedrunning Pokemon. This was a great showcase. Friends, that is gonna do it for us here at Make Your Own Victory today. Make Your Own Victory is going to be back next after AGDQ 2026, so obviously be sure to check that out. But if you stick around tonight, we're going to go to a break. When we come back from the break, it is going to be Think Fast, the speedrunning / trivia show here on GDQ Hotfix. It is going to be a randomizer of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and attendant trivia. I love Think Fast dearly. That's going to be a treat. I hope you will stick around for it. And lastly, of course, I hope everyone has a pleasant and restful holiday season. I hope your end of year is as chill as it possibly can be, and you enter 2026 feeling refreshed. That is going to be it from us here at Make Your Own Victory today. I've been Quacksilver. Speedrunning is a beach day. Thank you so much for playing in the sand with me. See you next time.